Greetings, everybody. Tim Anderson here, aka Renville, and welcome to the latest stand up for Project Dramond. I am joined by my brother, Joey. Do you want to come?
Traveler.
Do you want to come say hi real quick, Chris? She's at least gonna come say hi for everybody watching later on.
Yes, I'm here.
What are you doing?
Hi, Joy. I am working.
She's working on a new
Yes,
piece of art.
yes,
All right,
yes,
go draw. Draw
yeah.
more. I think she's gonna do a forest scene. It looks like next. Excuse me. So, um, what's the date tonight? May 26,
The
2021.
26th.
Yep. So, excuse me. I have been working on the same stuff I was working on last week. It's just more backgrounds and class stuff for the tabletop. Pretty much to the point where I think I'm done with what I need to have done for the prototype, which means if I can wrap everything up by the end of this week, which is a few more groups and factions and add a couple more classes, then next week, which will be the first week of June, I will start doing maps for the campaign because I got to do a city map, um, and I'm not quite sure how to do a city map yet. I've seen some of the examples on Incarnate. I got to do a city map and I got to do multiple um, area maps. So we're going to see how many I can get done. And then I also need to start putting graphics into the document so that I can get a rough PDF together. Excuse me, for the play group. So that's what I'll be working on in June. So I'm not to say that the this core module thing is done, but I've got all the history laid out in draft format. I've got all the backgrounds laid out in draft format. I've got all the classes. I've got our unique play style, like the variant rules for the D6 and how I use that for flavor rules. Um, we've got like the setting and some other stuff in there, and I'll need to give it a somewhat of a polished pass before we give it to people. But I think, excuse me, in about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, mid June, I will do a call for players, and you'll have to tell me what night you think you're going to be available because I'm assuming it's going to take 6 to 8 sessions. Um, Probably play 2 hours, 3 hours each session, and yeah, I wouldn't see it going beyond 8 sessions because it's literally just going to be they're in the city as the shit's hitting the fan, and they have to get out of the city um, before the Church of the Elderways puts up the dome and locks everybody in. So you got to get out before you get locked in with the horde of whatever these things are, and you get eaten, um, which will be fun. And Chris has not done a lot the last few days because she was feeling under the weather, a little bit icky. So today's her first day back in a few days, so she's working on a new piece of art right now. Um, Excuse me. That's it from my end.
Oh, mine's pretty short. Same stuff as last week. Just working on exterior stuff, buildings. I don't know if you shared out on Patreon because I can't see the Patreon post the picture of the building that was started, or if you just.
I didn't. So here's the thing. I saw it the other day, and I added it to the post later after the fact because
Oh,
I
okay.
did the draft of the post and scheduled it out on like Friday night or something or Saturday afternoon, and you added that post late. You added that photo later, and then I posted it here in Discord the other day.
Oh, okay. I haven't been paying attention
Yeah,
very
I
well.
put it in the
Uh,
Project Drama section, then added it to the
so
post. What the heck? Excuse me.
I'm working on it. That's gonna be the bookstore. This one I decided to start with because it's kind of like the smaller of the buildings. I mean, it's pretty tall because it's gonna be a two-story. But anyways, had some issues with creating. So the way like in Unity, when you create a prefab, you just create an asset prefab. The way that Unreal handles everything is everything's done through the blueprint system. So a blueprint is a prefab of sorts. Well, the way it works though is rather interesting because like to fix the painting issues that we're having for textures, I had to do vertex painting. But when you save, you get all your items and you're like, okay, I want to convert this to a new blueprint. It defaults to the asset texture, whatever the default is.
Hmm.
And so I had a hiccup there where I was confused on how to handle that. The way I'm decided to handle it is I'm going to build my prefab, and everything's going to be in the prefab except for the items that I'm going to do vertex painting on. Those items will just get added to the prefab because it's mostly roof tiles and big sections of walls, so it'll be really easy to take all my sticks, lanterns, everything, and just make it all a blueprint. Stick that in there, and then go in and add my roof tiles, and then because then I can paint
Yeah, and
everyone
also though,
different.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that that actually makes sense in a way because then you can add a little bit of difference
Yes.
to each one of those so they don't look exactly the same.
Right. Because then I can paint everyone different a little bit. So got that figured out. So I kind of fixed that blueprint, went in and pulled all the stuff that I want to paint out. I did change the look of the tower a little bit because I didn't like how the wall sections came together. It kind of like made a crisscross. I didn't like that, so they're flat now on each side. Cleaned that up a little bit, and then started on the working on the book store now. So hopefully by the end of the week we'll have a good chunk of the exterior, at least the basis of the exterior done. Should.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. And hopefully after that it'll go a lot quicker because then it's just like, okay, I know what pieces I'm using here, here, and here. Just I can literally take the core of the bookstore and just add width or length or whatever I need and then change, whether it's 2 story, 1 story, so on and so forth.
Okie dokie. Well, that's gonna be the stand up for this week, everybody. That was a quickie episode. Um, June is gonna be a big month. I mean, we're still shooting for July 1st, I think, is what we're shooting for. Well, it remains to be seen if we hit that.
I mean, July 31st is still within the month of
Technically, it's
July.
within July. Um, but sometime in July, we'd like to have a demo available to people. I have mine ready to go. Um,
I'm
although,
trying.
here's the thing though, I don't know how quickly I'll get the maps done for the playthrough. Um, because I tracked the world map and it took me something like 15 hours, which isn't a huge amount of time. It felt like a lot longer, but it wasn't. And that was a big detailed map. So I don't know how long it's going to take me to do like a city section, where I'm just going to slap some buildings in there. I'm not trying to create like a masterpiece that I'm going to be putting up on Incarnate. I'm trying to create something that's good enough as a reference material to stick up on Roll20 and eventually be something that I can flesh out with more details as I go along and get better at the tools, which we then will release as a pack with everything. So we'll see. But Chris has got a good chunk of artwork done. Plus, we're gonna. And by the way, I found out this is, and people can listen to this too. Like, so remember DM Dave? I shared that link to him to uh, with you to his Patreon page. So I actually
Hmm.
went and I've gotten half a dozen of his modules now, and they do the same thing that I was planning on doing, which is they have original art interspersed with Shutterstock. And I was like, that's brilliant. That's
Gotcha.
brilliant because a lot of the stuff that's just like background, like I just want like a cool mountain in the background, or I just want a cool, and it's like if I can pick up, you could pick up um, 25 images for like 250 bucks. It's like that's a very affordable way to do it. And then you've got 25 generic fantasy images that you can place somewhere in the book, and then you have your key pieces of art designed by your actual artists and your cover and your primary images and everything else. So, but I was interested to see what other people are doing, and I found his modules and I found some other modules as well which did that. So I was like, okay, so I'm on the right track
Cool.
with
Oh
that.
yeah.
Um, because I didn't even know that they were
Right.
doing that until after I talked to you about that, and then found out that somebody else is actually already doing that. So I was like, well, great minds think
Yeah, that's
alike.
great. Yeah,
All right,
that's great.
folks. That's going to be it for this week's stand up. Thanks so much for tuning in. We will see everybody next week. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon, pick up a subscription at Patreon if you want to dig into the juicy details for everything, and join the Discord so you can see our TikToks and everything else. Until next time, everybody.